Good morning. Welcome to the Unity Center of Pittsburgh. I know we're a few minutes behind this morning. I just wanted to send out a little healing prayer right off the bat for Mac Inglis, who is our technology wizard here at Unity. He pulled his back out a few days ago, and so movements have been a little challenging for him. And so that's why we're running a little behind schedule. But we are now live and with you from Unity. My name is Maryann Hackworth, and our musicians this morning are Mariko, Reid, and Anton Defade. So I just want to say, I hope wherever you are right now that you are feeling absolutely at peace in your heart and ready for a wonderful service that will connect you to your own inner divine knowing. We are so grateful that we are able to bring this live stream to you every week, and that we as a spiritual community can uplift one another during this time of challenge. So I'd like to introduce again Mariko and Anton, and they are going to lead us in our opening songs, I Am So Blessed and The More I See You.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so grateful, I am so blessed. Good morning, everyone. Right into it, yeah. The more I seek you, the more I find you. The more I find you, the more I love you. I wanna sit at your feet, drink from the cup in your hand, lay back against you and breathe, feel your heartbeat. This love is so deep, it's more than I can stand. I melt in your peace, it's overwhelming. The more I seek you, the more I find you. The more I find you, the more I love you. I wanna sit at your from the cup in your hand. Lay back against you and breathe. Feel your heartbeat. This love is so deep. It's more than I can stand. I melt in your peace. It's overwhelming.
We hold a vision here at Unity Center of Pittsburgh and in our hearts wherever we are, that we see a spiritually awakened world flowing with divine love. Our mission here at Unity is to be an inclusive, loving community. Here we practice, we teach, we inspire positive spiritual living. And it is our desire to share that with you right here, right now, in this Sunday service. I'd like to bring back our opening song, which will be Shambhala. Got your shakers ready.
Wash away my troubles, wash away my pain with the rain and Shambhala. Wash away my sorrow, wash away my shame with the rain and Shambhala. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Everyone is helpful, everyone is kind on the road to Shambhala. Everyone is lucky, everyone is fine on the road to Shambhala. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. How does the light shine in the halls of Shambhala? How does your light shine in the halls of Shambhala? I can tell my sister by the clouds in her hair on the road to Shambhala. I can tell my brother by the clouds in his hair on the road to Shambhala. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. How does your light shine in the halls of Shambhala? How does your light shine in the halls of Shambhala? Tell me, how does your light shine in the halls of Shambhala? How does your light shine in the halls of Shambhala? Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, love that song. Let's take that into an opening prayer as we bring into our mind's eye the brothers and sisters that Mariko was singing of, all of our human family. We bring them right now into this space with us. We align our minds with the Christ consciousness, with the divine infinite mind that is eternal. And we pray to this mind. We affirm that we are being inspired, we are being uplifted, and we are being carried through this time. We are given insights of wisdom, we are given healing, and we are so grateful to know that this God, this loving, unconditional love, is with us in each and every moment, in each and every experience that we're going through. So we say, thank you, God. Thank you for this life that we've been given. We are on the road to Shambhala, and we're grateful to be here. Thank you, God. So it is. At this time in our Sunday service, each Sunday, we light this candle. We call it the Christ candle, and we light this one single candle, this one light, to remind us of our inner light, our inner divinity. We are the expressions of this one power and one presence. I'd ask you to please join with me as we recite our unity principles, our guiding force. God is the source and creator of all. There is no other enduring power. God is good and present everywhere. We are spiritual beings created in God's image. The Spirit of God lives within each person. Therefore, all people are inherently good. We create our life experiences through our way of thinking. Through prayer and meditation, we increase our conscious contact with God, bringing forth love, wisdom, health, prosperity, and everything good. Knowledge of these spiritual principles is not enough. We must live them, and so it is. This morning we have an affirmation. You'll see it on your screen. And as you know, unity is founded on the power of prayer, the power of the word. And this word that we speak is an affirmation. It is a positive thought that is put out into action to draw unto us more of same. So we align our mind and our word with our feeling, and we recite this affirmation together 3 times. Attuned to divine life, I heal and live fully. Attuned to divine life, I heal and live fully. Attuned to divine life, I heal and live fully. Another practice that we have, a wonderful spiritual practice here at Unity, is to read our daily word. And now typically I would ask Mac to come up, but movement is a little tricky this morning for his physical body. So I would like to share with you this morning the daily word for Sunday, April 26th. And that word is release. I release all that does not contribute to my highest good. John's Gospel tells of Jesus restoring life to his friend Lazarus, who had been dead 4 days. As Jesus cries out, "Lazarus, come forth," his friend emerges from the tomb, burial cloths still covering his face and wrapped around his hands and feet. Jesus says to those who have gathered, "Unbind him and let him go." Even after a spiritual resurrection, I may remain bound, like Lazarus, by thoughts, ideas, feelings, or habits that keep me from the full experience of freedom. Through my divine power of elimination, I release negative feelings. I dissolve error thoughts and free myself from habits and actions that do not serve my highest good. I am no longer bound. I am free. And from John 11:44 we read, "The dead man came out, his hands and feet bound with strips of cloth, and his face wrapped in a cloth. Jesus said to them, 'Unbind him and let him go.'" And I'd like to add to that, how often do we need to release ourselves from the thoughts that others hold of us and recognize that they do not dictate who and what we are? We say, "Unbind us, let us free," and we are free. At this time, we bless our children. Oh, we bring into our consciousness all of the children in our families, all of the children in our community and in the world, and especially now, these children that are so disrupted in what their life has been up until this point. They've always enjoyed their friendships at school, their social life, their teachers, their learning practices. Everything has been turned upside down. And so let us uplift them now in our consciousness. Let us extend our love to our children. Children, we love you. We affirm for you that you are joy. You are the expression of God coming forth into this world. And you are strong. You are resilient. You will make it through this time that we are spending in isolation at home. You will come forth again, and you will be able to join your friends and your family and be able to give one another hugs. And you will feel the love that we have for you right here and right now. It continues forever. And so it is. And now is the time of congregational greeting. So we have this little chat format on our live stream. If you haven't already chimed in to say good morning to each other, just to let us all know that you're here, we know that this physical distance between us does not separate our spirit. And so we send our spiritual greeting to you. We send the knowing that we are connected with our hearts and that we have great love for one another. And we uplift you through any sadness or fear. Let us transform it now. As a spiritual family, let us greet one another in the knowing that we are transforming fear by our awakening consciousness. We affirm that for you, and we greet you as an awakened divine being. So it is. I'd like to share with you now our next slide, which is a core value of wisdom. So this past year, when we were getting together as a spiritual community, we designed and created our vision, which we've already gone over, and our mission statement. And in addition to that, while we were gathered as a large group, 30 strong, we were talking about what core values did we admire the most? What do we hold in the highest esteem for us as spiritual beings? And how can we create new freshness here at Unity and in our world atmosphere? What can we bring forth? And wisdom, divine wisdom, was a core value, of course, that brought to mind. So I'd like to share with you a few statements that were created at that time. More and more we turn to spirit and trust our divine knowing while we acknowledge the same in others. We are guided to participate in activities that contribute to the resources that support the truth. We develop our practice with prayer and with meditation. And we know that these practices do, in fact, lead to insight, to wisdom. We all have that inner wisdom inside of us. We have been born with it. And through the years, sometimes that gets shrouded with our fears or our habits of thought. So we brush that aside. And we, through prayer and meditation, move closer and deeper into our own wisdom at this point in our lives. And we affirm that wisdom for medical practitioners, for researchers, for doctors, and for our leaders, that we may grow through this and become wiser and deeper spiritual beings. Now it is time for prayer. As you know, every thought is a prayer, but let's focus consciously right now to bring anyone or any situation into our mind of prayer. Whether it be a family member, whether it be our own selves, let us take ourselves into this prayerful moment. And let us align our mind with the divine mind that knows all and that heals all and that guides all. And as we hold this prayerful space, Mariko and Anton will lead us into a beautiful song, Surely the Presence.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power, joy and grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power, joy and grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
And I'd like to now bring us into a brief meditation. So meditation, as you know, is simply quieting the mind and allowing the body and mind to be present, to be in this moment of now. So I would ask you to just get comfortable in your chair, in your home, wherever you're seated, and allow yourself to fully experience your surroundings by breathing in. You may glance around and just simply notice your space. And when your mind wants to run off down a path, just release, accept and release it. Come back into your space again. And bring your awareness to your body, your beautiful physical body. You may notice your feet planted on the floor, or your hands open on your lap. And the breath moving into your nostrils and exhaling outward. Take your attention into the body that you have, this amazing body, and feel the life. Notice your life force. Feel this life as it moves through your hands. This life force is the energy of the divine creator, the God essence. And this power courses through your veins. This power of God moves into every muscle and tissue of your body. Breathe into that. This life force is unconditionally loving towards you. It is you. It is your life. It is God expressing in you, as you. Breathe into that awareness that you are loved. You are love. And allow that love to fill you and radiate. Radiate from your consciousness. I am love. I am God's expression of love. As you sit in this feeling of certainty, knowing that you are safe, you are cared for so deeply, and you are uplifted into a higher knowing. And wherever you may be, this love is expressing in you, as you. And now as you open your eyes again and glance around your space, you see the brightness and the perfection of your life unfolding. Meditation is a way to calm the mind, to transform any lingering fear or doubt. Throughout the day, you can return to that space of connection with Source. It's just one breath away. We now have a special music that's been prepared by Mariko and Anton. I would like to introduce that song to you. It's written by... Oh, okay. We're going to actually come back to that song in a little bit. What I'd like to introduce to you, though, now is our amazing guest speaker coming to you from Ohio, And everyone knows our good friend Vince Lisi, so he hardly needs any introduction. Thank you, Vince, for bringing our message to us this Sunday.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Maryann. Also to the whole community congregation. Man, it is for to be with you in this energy and in a moment to thank Maryann and also all of the work that they have presented here. As one who does live streaming, it's very simple to see something being presented without understanding all of the work that goes into it. So my congratulations and kudos to the team there that has made this presentation. I'd also like to mention one other thing that I think is very important. What I find is that what is going on in one of us is now going on in all of us. And what I simply mean by that is that this part that is going on within each one of us individually is really a participation in something much bigger. We are participants in a larger movement, a larger energy. It's one thing to say that. It's quite another to feel that. And what I'd like to suggest to you is that we are participants in that larger universal movement of energy. This is quite a thrilling experience. I hope you feel that deeply within yourself. Not just something that hopefully you feel, but something you know that is becoming your all-the-time presence in the world. Well, speaking of thrilling experiences, this week's teaching is entitled A Once-in-a-Lifetime Opportunity. It could just as easily have been entitled A Once-in-a-Lifetime Experience. Hopefully you were a little intrigued by this title, so let's begin. First of all, with a common experience that many of us have, and then with the major teaching. First, the experience. It feels good at times just periodically to clean house, to do some spring cleaning, and just get rid of the stuff that no longer serves us, stuff that's just taking up space. We haven't used it for quite some time, just now to take some of those things, put them into a garage sale, or take them to a rummage sale. It's just time to get rid of the stuff that is no longer serving you. Let me just say it again. It's time to get rid of the things that no longer serve you. And not just the things that no longer serve you, but it's also very important to get rid of the habits and the beliefs that you just don't need anymore. Maryann talked about releasing these things, but not just things, habits and beliefs that no longer assist you. Now to the major part of today's teaching. For many of us, we have felt that we have experienced many once-in-a-lifetime events. Perhaps some of you, going way back, might recall after the Second World War, where we had just been in a very devastating world war and now had to rebuild not only America, but the world itself. A second major event, very unforgettable, was the day that John F. Kennedy was shot. Still to this day, many of us remember where we were on the day that Kennedy was shot. Or perhaps maybe many of you recall the racial unrest in the 1960s. It was an unforgettable time. Legislation had to be put into place, but even with the legislation, there were so many problems. It seemed like an unforgettable event. And then surely, most of you must have felt that one unforgettable event occurred when Neil Armstrong walked on the moon in 1969, then followed by that Woodstock Festival a month later. Or surely, you must have felt that a once-in-a-lifetime experience is occurring with all of the technological ramifications and all of the technological revolutions that this technology is bringing into the world today. Quite remarkable. And last but not least, Probably all of us felt a once-in-a-lifetime event occurred on 9/1. Yes, these were very unforgettable experiences, but not one of them has had the impact of the coronavirus. I would like to explain why as I see it. In all of these past memorable events, from Woodstock to 9/11, America and the world was able to respond to these events with something that they could do. There was something to do to rebuild the world after World War II. There was something to do to have effective legislation for social unrest in the 1960s. And of course, there was something to do after 9/11 to rebuild on the site of the Twin Towers, and especially to repair relationships with countries so we could avert another such event. America and the world are really good when there is something to do, a problem to be fixed, something to be responded to. And even when these things are on a timeline, and there's a lot to do, at least there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a goal that we can work to and achieve, wherein people can feel good about themselves and what they have accomplished. And even in these difficult times, as tough as they are, we like to do things. We like to show that we care. We like to lend a hand because there seems to be an obvious light at the end of the tunnel. And then the coronavirus came. It posed a heretofore unanswered question. It posed a heretofore unanswered question. What would happen if the world stood still? What would happen if the world was put on pause? What would happen if the world was put on pause, which it seems to be? This pause is raising two very penetrating questions that the previous seemingly unforgettable events did not have to answer. These two new questions are, what if there is nothing to do? Because you can't do anything. What if there is nothing to fix? Because you don't know what to fix, and there doesn't seem to be a fix. And then that second question that is very important, perhaps the more difficult of the two, what if there is no light at the end of the tunnel? What if you don't know when it is going to end? These are two very, very penetrating questions. What do you do when, well, there's nothing to do? And what do you do when you're not sure when it's going to end? The obvious desire for many, and for many reasons, has been to return to a state of normalcy as soon as possible. People like normalcy. People like to be busy. People like to do something. People like to do anything. But they especially like getting back to what is safe and secure, whether it be to their jobs, their family, to money, security. The uncertainty, the anxiety of not knowing when it will end is a very, very frustrating and difficult and frightening situation. And of course, when it is over, there will be a lot of soul searching that's going to go along. You'll have your own personal way of looking at your life. How did I look through this, and what changes will I make? And certainly locally in the communities, to look at the organizations, what are the organizations that really served us? And of course, nationally in our government, who will we elect and give power to? And then on the world scene, of course, we'll realize once again, we are one humanity, one human community living on the planet. These are important questions, important situations and lessons that we will learn from the coronavirus, individually and collectively. But there is a particular question that I now want to address to you. What I'd like to know is, what will your new normal be? What will your new normal be? I pose this question to you regardless of how you have done or will continue to do with the coronavirus. No matter what, the question is, what will be the new normal for you? That's what I want to address. But before I do so, before I make 4 recommendations to you on the new normal, I'd like to suggest that you do one thing. It's very important. The one thing I ask you to do is to focus on how you feel right now. How do you feel right now without the end in sight, with the uncertainty of what might occur? Don't leave the feeling of what you feel at this moment in the moment of uncertainty. What's going to be very, very clear to you is that this moment of uncertainty will have a lot of important things for you to understand. Because when families, societies, and governments will try to get you back to what is normal, you will have a tendency to forget the present moment of uncertainty. It's so easy to want to quickly get back to normal, to get back to what feels comfortable and satisfying. What I want to suggest to you is that you not be duped. Don't be fooled by going back to what seems to be a new normal, which is just the old normal that got you into the problem in the first place. Do you not see that you might be missing? You might be missing this once in a lifetime opportunity to truly see what is meaningful in your life, to release the superfluous things in your life that are seemingly important but really aren't, and what you really understand comes to know that you need to release those things so that you can see the most important things in your life. Please do not confuse a new normal with a return to the old normal. And please, please do not confuse a desire for a new normal. Don't confuse a desire for a new normal with a return to an old normal. We all would like to get back to what is normal, but hopefully not to revert back to an old normal and have missed the opportunity of this unforgettable experience. So let me just ask one more time, what will be the new normal for you when you go forward? Think about it at this moment. Now, what I'm going to suggest to you are 4 particular things concerning a new normal for you. But let me be clear. Each one of you is going to be unique in your own new normal. What I'm simply going to suggest to you are some things that might be worthy of considering of, so that as you go forth, and as I go forth, we might be guided by a new normal that has come about through this present unforgettable experience of the coronavirus. First, the easy question. What is it that the coronavirus has shown you that you don't need? What is it in your life that you really see is superfluous? Not bad, not wrong, just superfluous. What is it that you need to take a better look at in your life and perhaps release? What do you need to put in the garage sale or bring to the rummage sale? What is it that no longer serves you? And I'm not just saying things, but I'm talking about habits and beliefs. It could be something. It could be something from a food that you really shouldn't be eating anymore. Or it could be a vacation you thought you had to take. What is it you need to let go of? Jim Self says it very nicely in his course, A Course in Mastering Alchemy, when he says, you can't take your baggage with you. You can't take your baggage with you. Only you know your baggage. Let it go. Let it go. And beware. Beware. Once you let it go, do not let others load you up again. Not everyone will be as desirous of releasing things that no longer serve them. Be careful, therefore, not to pick up old stuff. Secondly, what is it that you have now seen during this coronavirus that you didn't see quite so clearly in the past? What is it that you now know that you didn't quite know before? Perhaps it might be a recommitment to a family member, or a recommitment to a daily exercise program in your own life. Perhaps it will be a desire to know yourself better, and perhaps also a desire to invite others to know themselves better. What is it that you want to experience more of in your future? What has become more real to you, more so now than ever before, and will fill up more and more of your going forward, especially now that you will release so much of the superfluous stuff that doesn't matter? What do you want to release? What do you want to know more of? Thirdly, very important, who are the people in the organizations that have reflected and are reflecting your values during this time? Who are the people that you've really come to appreciate? Whether it's the mail person or the local supermarket clerk. And what are the organizations? What are the organizations that have really served you? What are the organizations that you want to support going forward? What are the organizations that are reflecting the values that you resonate with? To such people and organizations, saying thank you again and again is so very important. Not only to thank them, but also because it reflects your own gratitude and your own goodness. Support those who are supportive. Fourth and lastly, most importantly, this particular time, this downtime, has enabled us to realize two very important things. The first one is that it has revealed how comfortable you are or how uncomfortable you are with just being as opposed to doing. So many people thrive on being busy, on doing, but oftentimes do not know what to do when there's nothing to do, and you just have to deal with just being. How have you done with simply being? Have you become too bored too quickly? Or have you come to know yourself? Perhaps maybe you've had more internal elevated growth. Perhaps you need to know your being and allow your being to become a much more important part of your future, so that more and more your being will express and result in your doing, and not allow the doing to obfuscate your being. And secondly, I can only suggest to you the following aspect of your being. Only you can take it to heart. Your state of being, of stepping up to who you are and what you have become, most clearly approximates the state of being you will be in when you physically pass and decide to lay down your body. Let me say it again. Your state of being, where you presently are, most clearly approximates the state of being you will be in when you transition. What I encourage you to understand is that your present state of being is the basis for your future being. Do you not see this wonderful opportunity that the coronavirus has given to us? It's an opportunity to straighten ourselves out, not just for this moment, but for every future moment. So in conclusion, what I would just suggest to you that the coronavirus truly, in a sense, has given us a wonderful opportunity to pause, to clean out what you don't want anymore, superfluous, to add to what you do want to grow in, to support the organizations and the people that really have meant something to you, that resonate with you. And lastly, to be more than you've ever been. To be more than you've ever been now and for the future. Don't blow this opportunity. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you don't use it, you will lose it. Namaste.
Thank you, Vince. You've given us a lot of insight to ponder, and I know that we have been in these past weeks thinking on these ideas of being rather than doing. So we really appreciate you coming forward and being able to speak these words and ideas with such clarity to each and every one of us. It is time now for prosperity practice, so I wanted to tell you we're going to be getting back to music at the end of service. There was some technology glitch there, moving from Skype to the other Skype or the live stream. So anyhow, it's all good. I wanted to share with you a little prosperity story. This is something that I was experienced as a child in my own family. And at the time, never really realized that it was my father's prosperity lesson. He had a saying he used to use: you only get what you pay for. So my parents were very careful shoppers. They were careful with their money. And sometimes my mother would question the cost of something or the need to purchase something, and he would always say, "Loretta, you only get what you pay for." And I remember as a child hearing those words, not really understanding their lesson for prosperity, but understanding and agreeing with him in a childlike way that what he meant was if something matters to you, if something is good, if something has longevity, if something is well built and has good foundation, it is worth investing your money in that. I think that was his lesson to my mother and to my young ears. And so I would ask that you consider prosperity as a way to express what is valued to you. And we hope that Unity Center of Pittsburgh is a valuable part of your spiritual life. And we look forward to coming here every single Sunday and delivering a message and music to you to uplift you and to connect with you. So there is a prayer for prosperity, and I'd like you to please say it together with me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am so grateful. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit, for being so good to us here at Unity Center of Pittsburgh. We've had some incredible, generous donations, and we know that you support us, and we are very grateful for you. There are announcements that I'd like to go to next, and then, like I said, we're going to get back to our music. Our announcements are important. First of all, we have Vince's class that's going to follow today at 12:30 via Skype, and that is a course in mastering alchemy. So please stay tuned for that. Also, I wanted to let you know that we have, as a board, postponed our annual membership meeting from May. It was supposed to be the third week of May, and we decided to put it into June. So the new date for the membership meeting will be June 21st. Hopefully, it will be something we'll be able to do in person, but since we really don't know, as Vince said, what will be the new normal or the new way, we may have to do it via technology. But I wanted to let you know about it ahead of time, mainly because every year you renew your membership. So there are forms that you can click on the website, just fill it in, say, yes, I am still a member, or I am joining as a new member. This is my name, this is my email address, and I want to belong to Unity Center of Pittsburgh. Basically, that's it. And what that does for you, it allows you to vote if there is ever a voting matter. And the annual membership meeting is a time that we come together, we talk about our finances, extremely transparent about what we have and how we use our income here. We also will have 2 board members that will be leaving the board because they have served their tenure, and there will be a vote for 2 new members to be coming on board, as well as a new alternate. If you have any inclination to serve Unity Center of Pittsburgh as a board member, please don't hesitate to reach out to us and to let us know. So that is exciting, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else at the membership. Okay, so I don't think we're going to be able to have our songs. That's what Mac is telling us. There must be something going on this morning with being able. So how about if we have our closing prayer together? The light of God surrounds me. I am light. The love of God enfolds me. I am love. The power of God protects me. I am power, and the presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, wherever you are, all is well. So I wish you an amazing week of peace and wisdom in your heart, And I look forward to seeing you again next Sunday. Namaste.